Good evening, and welcome to the Link to the Past Randomizer 2025 main tournament. I am Adirondack Rick. I have been a teammate of fcoughlin for many times, many seasons in the league. Joining me is Iceman. You've got some
Hello.
credentials in this game as well.
Yes, I've been beer league teammate with Leaf, and we've done some random co-op together. It's gonna be a fun race.
Yeah, that's the reason why I had you in mind when it came time to do this match between two people we are very familiar with and very close as far as friendships are concerned with both of these runners. We've played with these runners. We've raced against these runners. Should be a fun match in a mode that you and I both love.
Correct. Cross key is best mode of the tournament. Sad I only got to play it once.
That is a crime against humanity. I'll let you take the lead here as we get going, as I got to sync up the streams.
Yep, so they are off to a divergence already. Leaf starting off with Link's house. Fred doing Sanctuary. Sanctuary at Lumberjack's going to be interesting. And of course, Mimic Cave without a hammer. Early bush crabs for 5s aren't that bad. Tier 1 tree pull at full magic is pretty good to know. And Ganon's at Uncle.
I see we have found ourselves a top of a spectacle rock here.
Top of Spectacle at the log. Nice easy potion shop, so once we find mushroom, it's going to be easy turn-in.
Now, what was the item inside there?
Compass for spec.
Leaf trying to get more enemies killed for tree pull purposes. We see the lumberjack with the shield, which Fred will probably say no to.
Most people say no to shields unless it's directly in their path. There are a few that will pick up with them all, though.
And then there's some who will try to get rid of them no matter what. All right, bottom of Paradox Cave.
If only we had a mirror.
Maybe we'll find it soon. Not there, though. Get some 20s so that way you can buy the bottle vendor item.
Yeah, any bit of money they can get right now to make sure they get that item before leaving Kakariko is going to be pretty good.
Which is interesting, the fact that Leaf then passed on the opportunity for the nickels.
I think he feels he's likely going to find more rupees along the way.
Yeah, who knows? Sometimes the rupees can show up in your favor. We find Uncle at the well. Fred heading off to defeat the guard. And, well, okay, so a map to TR. Yahoo. Alright. So far, we really need to find things to cause our two trackers to light things up on the devices.
Early flute's good, especially getting Kakariko.
Well, there we go. That is something to light up on the tracker. I like the way that Leaf just went back in there just a moment. Unfortunately, yeah, as you pointed out, we really would love to have a mirror in order to do that.
That double back, but realizing they need money.
Sea House on the absolute opposite of its location in the Dark World.
Realizing that they've already found Ganon, so they could just drop into any drop down now with no repercussions.
And a bomb shop at the lumberjack, or not? Wow, the breadsmiths. I am totally off my game here. What game are we playing?
Cross keys, where bottom merchant has just money, small return of investment.
How about an ether?
Either's not bad. We might need it. Who knows? It's going to be good once I get a sword to freeze enemies.
Yeah, but who knows how when we're gonna find that sword? That sword could be very, very far away. Nice other side of the Ice Rod Cave.
So far, they haven't really found that much in this Kakariko.
Yeah, we've had to click all of 2 buttons.
And unfortunate, it's a good save spot on a normalcy, but with early flute, that's not as good.
All right, we get a small key. Small key is swamp. And there's the dam to go right with it.
Yeah, with that flute, they're going to have a really easy access to that item.
How early would you check that item with our current loadout?
It depends on the route that you take from here. If I route south to race game and check that, I'm gonna flute away. I'll just check it right away. It's a quick flute.
Big thank you to Holseti and Loyal Imperial 3 for doing the tracking for this match, and we do appreciate all the button clicking that is going on over here. So where would you go next?
Again, with this equipment, I might just quickly check that item at the dam spot. It's a very quick flute. Depends on what this dark cave is. Otherwise, maybe up the mountain.
Judging by the fact that Fred is flashing means he just went straight up and found that that was Death Mountain Descension Cave.
Ice Quake.
Something else we can't use right yet.
This makes sense to check it now with flute. You can get back here quickly enough if this is a save and quit opportunity.
And it turns out to be Dark World Shopping Mall. However, no value over on the other side. As now, Fred heading up to the castle, found out about the Ganon and potion shops.
Yep, retracing a bit of what Leaf Dirt already did. I wonder if Fred will spend a bit more time with cheaples or anything, or just leave. Probably just leave.
Probably just leave at this point. You've already got your bottle vendor taken care of. Obviously, you'd still would like to get more rupees for a potential trip to Zora, but I think this is where another one of those plays that I know you like to make every now and then, heading over towards the eastern area might be the best play, although we do have access to the mountain too, thanks to the flute.
I think flute's a bit more valuable at this point.
Flute 2, one of the harder Spear 1s to get to, is Hyrule Castle.
I might have checked the item plus the entrances for that. You can get back here quickly enough, so if you get locked out, it's not a huge deal.
Fred wants to check the useless fairy entrance.
Which is the bat.
Yeah, believe taking the fall. And it is going to go ahead and try to go through Death Mountain Descension. Fred doing hula hanning. And yeah, I do like the fact that Leaf was cycling through the items to make sure that they were through the door, because the item switching would finish at that stage. And that is
That's a
our
really good
access
find.
to TR Bridge.
Nothing here, but at least knowledge that that's a quick way back here. Maybe when they get mirror.
It's one of your force outs. And Fred finds free bombs. So one person in chat was asking about the rules set. Cross Keys is a mixture of a cross-world entrance shuffle combined with key sanity, as we find the top of Paradox.
And Leaf was debating it, but probably has no bombs for it, so can't do anything in there right now.
Yeah, we need to find some bombs. Fred checked the lake area.
If only Leaf went the way Fred was going, there was the bomb farm.
Another sad place to find is Hera without a bomb to hit the switch. But you know, Leaf, when they find bombs, that's going to be one of the first go-tos. Will be that Paradox because of the 7 items inside. Fred finds Super Bunny.
100%. When you know 7 items are there and you're just bombs away from them, you beeline it, especially when it's that quick to get back to. And this is good for Fred. Fred was debating not going in here, but it's an easy enough back to Flute 5 in Eastern that you can take this force out and then go back later.
Leaf finds King's Tomb. With some much needed bombs.
Not quite enough to do Paradox, but a few more, and likely Leaf will go there.
Alright, where is this Super Bunny going to put us out? Up on the mountain? Which obviously we could already get to thanks to the flute, but Fred will definitely search up here while we are in the area.
And Thieves Town, nice. This is quick, easy 4 items.
So I'm wondering if Leaf will go for it. I was questioning if
so they had to go this way.
I was questioning if Leaf was going to go through it because now that Eastern entrance is a one-off for them.
Yeah, that was something on my mind too. Like if I was doing this at the start, I would avoid this and just double back after I finished all my entrance checks. But
Yeah.
again, with Flute, you have easy access back here.
If only we had the glove to make Eastern even easier to get to. That's a bug catching net, not the glove, game. That was supposed to be the glove. You're supposed to make... Oh, well, that's a hook shot. Okay, good. Cool.
Hook shot when you're on the mountain, so you can get all the lower mountain now. Except for the locked entrance right now. Should also make navigating old men rescue once you find it a little bit easier with the hook shot.
Bonk Rocks has our glove. Okay, that's where the glove
There's
is.
a glove. So you have very easy access back to Eastern for the two of them.
Yeah, that's good. And there's the use of the hook shot, as you were pointing out, as Fred is in the Old Man Rescue.
So now with that hook shot, though, it's going to make it very easy for Leaf to go back to Paradox. One bomb to open the lower, and then the hook shot to kill the enemies.
Yeah, definitely want to get back there sooner than later. Again, the weight of 7 items. And there is the hook shot for Windblown Leaf, and we are done in here. Take a hug, you're done.
Oh, Fred didn't actually rescue the old man. Never actually found his way.
Well, that's interesting.
This is a good alternative, using bombs to figure out your location.
And here comes the glove for Leaf. They too can lift. I'm just surprised that Fred got a little lost inside of this cave, because you and I both know these runners, both of them, have been playing this game for quite a while now.
Yeah, but at the same time, with only hookshot as your way of navigating, it's a little bit tricky to find where the opening is. Especially if you haven't done it in a while.
Fred getting hit by the boulders and leaves that one cave unattended. There's the old man for Leaf. And Fred's going to go ahead and take care of that right now. Is our information about the Red Bomb, Turtle Rock, and Ice Palace are 5-6.
On the one hand, I admire their tenacity, knowing what they can and can't do in a seed. On the other hand, there was the fairy fountain literally right in front of them, and neither of them took it.
Oh, and there's a death relief right there. Yeah, that was surprising that both runners have opted not to use the fairy to get the heal up, and as such, both runners now already taking a tumble, and now let's see what Fred ends up doing. Fred now, yep, I've already taken one death. Now I'm going to go ahead and get the health refill, at least to get 2 hearts back. Because the one thing you don't want to do is hug a red Tektite. They do 2 hearts damage.
Looks like Leaf is done with the mountain, using the glove to now go look at other entrances.
Eastern Palace found.
I know this is a hotly debated place for certain runners.
Yeah, but we're not talking to Zelga with this matchup. I know they're one of the bigger ones that usually has the debate about this. And usually it comes down to the case, Iceman. I don't know about you with your races. If I choose to skip Eastern, it's got the bow. If I choose not to do Eastern, or if I do Eastern, it's got absolutely nothing.
Sounds about right, but I think it's more of a case of what I mean is, like, some people want to skip it and will dip it only when they find both items, but it also depends on where the location is. This seems not terrible to get back to, so I can understand skipping it, but at the same time, maybe something really good is here.
So Leaf has found the well.
Not much in it, but found it.
So if I'm looking at this correctly, and chat can get me correct if I'm incorrect here, that means Magic Bat is at Pyramid.
I didn't mark it down, but I thought they saw bat.
The Big Key to Desert is behind 0 Hyrule Castle keys.
I want to say bat was maybe useless fairy.
All right, let's go see where Hyrule Castle right is. Oh, hi. So back into Hyrule Castle we go. Fred's got nothing inside of this Eastern, so it is that case of you doing it early and it has absolutely nothing inside. Okay, so we have the access to the top of Dark Death Mountain.
Just double check the VOD. Yeah, useless fairy is magic bat. Nice 5 item cave.
Moon
Nice
Pearl. And the boots.
And the go fast boots.
Oh, I think I know which one I'm missing. Lost Woods Thief.
Now this makes it a bit more efficient for Fred to check the north of the light world. With the boots, they'll be able to get bonk rocks right away.
So Lost Woods Thief is the one that's at Pyramid. Sick kid, no bottle. So we do know that Leaf will need to go back up on that mountain at some point in time. Gonna try to wrap up some of these other checks on the South Dark World first.
Yeah, the glove checks after they got the glove on the mountain seem pretty prudent play.
Oh, there's the other way into Paradox. Got ourselves a small key to TR. Also, a fun map. And also the small key to Desert Palace. I think we just found where the old man back is.
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah, entering chat, the Boots Mini Moldorm Cave located at the top of the, or not the top of the mountain, but the right side of the mountain. Leaf will get back there at some point in time.
Finding top of Bumper Cave so they can just hook shot across. Leaf will find this in a couple seconds. And unfortunately, Hera having the mirror, Leaf couldn't get this earlier with no access to a weapon to flip the switch.
Yeah, this.
But they're
At
getting
least
it
Leaf
now,
is.
which is good.
Yeah, at least Leaf is getting there now, which might make them consider going back up the mountain. However, it doesn't make you feel good when you leave something that is very important in Cross Keys. And one of the items that is very important in this mode is that mirror.
True, but at least you're finding it relatively shortly after you found the location, so you haven't left it for very long.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not sitting there going, you're going to be absolutely devastated by it, but I'm wondering if Leaf will get to a point where they are feeling rough about leaving the boots up on the mountain.
Yeah, I think the longer Leaf doesn't finish checking the mountain, the worse that's going to feel. But at the same time, they're going to get funneled there quickly, I think.
Yeah. I'm not going to sit there and go like this is already starting to become one-sided, because it's definitely not. There's still a lot of this seed to be played. It's just more of the Leaf needs to get back up the mountain. And I think at this point we're now funneled into that because there's nowhere else to go. All right, never mind. There is one other place to go. Let's check here over Ice Rod Cave.
We'll get to see what the stun prize is. Just hearts. Not bad.
Very critical when you only have two of them. Hotel Mario found. All right, there we go. All right, now we're funneled into the mountain. You know, I'm going to say that multiple times, Iceman, and it's going to wind up being true somewhere in this venture. I forgot, we still had these two places to check.
Yeah, Fred checked these, Leaf didn't. Maybe now?
Yeah, you have to be.
You never know. The runners do like proving commentators wrong.
Yeah, I know. This is the second time I've called a race where that's happened. So this is right where the moment of impact happened for Leaf the last time around. So you know they will not be feeling great about what's on this other side of the mountain. Please be careful, Leaf. Oh! Dead rock!
Sick it with just a boomerang.
Fred, with a very efficient kill of the first guard, has chosen to just grab the key for future reference. And now, after checking to see that this is the magic bat, Leaf will head into the castle.
Okay, maybe Leaf already remembers this takes you up the mountain, and with the mirror, they could just mirror from the top and then go down.
That's right. Small key on the floating island. Always neat when that winds up happening there with Fred with the that thing in the sand. Sword found in desert.
Which I believe was the Lift Rock Hookshot Cave. So Leaf's gonna need their pearl before that.
Oh. All right, well that's a new style of the Selgate EP right there with how Leaf took that and finally gets a revenge against the Dead Rock and is going to get the boots coming up now. Meanwhile, Fred's now in the Dark World, and I didn't even see how Fred got here.
Desert left.
So, Desert Right. Where was that?
I don't know if Fred left Desert Right. I think Fred got the items, worked their way over to the big chest, and then left it on the left.
Okay.
Because I think Desert Main was Hookshot Lift Rock.
Fred's going to find out, unfortunately, that this is a Hyrule Castle. That heart was very much needed.
I think Leaf's going to find at least one more in here as well, along with the sword.
Well, I mean, at least getting through this room, now you're not on one-hit knockout. I do not think Leaf meant to do that.
No, they thought they were on the Hookshot, but they were on Mirror instead.
It's fine. The last time I did a Link to the Past randomizer seed, I wound up doing the same thing, accidentally hitting the mirror as opposed to the item I thought was on the Y button. Gee, I wonder who my co-op partner was for that. What do we got here in Skullwoods? Whole lot of nothing.
At least it's a good Skullwoods.
Yeah, sometimes you really, really want to have a good school woods, especially in this kind of situation where you got to take a connector to get to a connector to get to this part of the Dark Road, this stage. I do love Penny Royal Oil's comment about nothing beats hitting the mirror when trying to powder the anti-fairy before Moldorm 2. That I hurt inside just reading that.
So far, nothing terribly great in Skullwoods. Nice to have is like Pod Small, but nothing super nice.
That is pod 3 for Fred, by the way, so that means we are going to be going all the way to the back if we find where it is at some point. Fred trying to get to the pinball room wound up finding a lot of hurt instead. Leaf was forced out of King's Tomb because they explored all 3 of the Hyrule Castle entrances, so they already know that there's no reason to check King's Tomb. TR right. Although nothing in the big chest.
No, but having the big key lets Fred check a little bit more than Leaf did the first time through.
And gets a piece of heart and 50 rupees as a result. Fred's going to find out about the TR left in just a few moments here. Or no, just bonking over. I think we might be in for a while before we find our next piece of progression, Iceman.
Yeah, I think so. Fred is double backing to a lot of what Leaf already did. Leaf is finishing off stuff Fred already did.
Fred gives a Gibdo a hug, or rather, Leaf gives a Gibdo a hug. I know from experience that hurts.
Correct.
There's a reason why there's a quote on my channel about blocking with your face.
Not a good idea.
And Leaf has decided I don't want that key.
Leaf has 2, it's enough.
Leaf also had 2 hearts, and I got a little worried here. Spiral Cave.
Fred's doing exactly what you normally do with that.
I mean, I don't want to leave this path. Not when it takes you 2 connectors to get over here. Give me the mitts and give me the give me the hammer so I can have easier access here.
So what do you think the next actual progression is going to be then?
I think we're going to wait all the way until we're on the southern end, like at Hype Cave entrance. And it's going to be a single item, and I'm going to make a bold prediction that it's the flippers.
Flippers to do the flipper checks in Zora.
No, flippers so you can get to the east side of the world, Dark World.
Yeah, I guess. Pretty sure both these runners can current jump if they really wanted over there.
They can, and I remember calling a race the other day where that wound up happening with Zelga and Pool Float, who, by the way, is another person that you've teamed up with in the past.
Correct, and Leaf took the Spiral Cave, coming back out at Cave 45.
Hammer at the dig!
There you go, now you can take Spiral.
It's too late, you've already gone this way. Cute game.
Okay, so Desert comes out at Light Bumper. So we might need to find Dark Bumper for that big heat, but otherwise that's not very useful.
Ganon's Tower.
Break can do a lot here.
How happy are you to find this early on, like at the 40-minute mark?
Much happier once I find the second sword, because now Ice Armos is not as big of a deal.
Just find the bow inside.
Or that also helps.
So far, nothing in the Staphos room except for a half of a heart. And a map. And a small key to pod. Okay. Not a whole lot here.
No, but again, there's a lot of things left still.
How about a book?
Knowledge is power.
Fully out of logic, but it's still something. Leaf about to get this hammer. And I think Leaf is paying homage to Fred, who likes to dig high. Fred didn't do the high this time around, just only did the H because he found the hammer so fast, but nice homage to Fred there.
Or knowledge with the ice map. One more checks for Fred.
Oh, at least Leaf got the hammer.
Yeah, they can just go to Link's house and then use the portal there.
Yeah, but Leaf really needs to calm it down. I think Leaf's been a little on the edge since the Dead Rock deaths on Death Mountain, the two of them. Boomerang time with the Armos combined with your sword. Some knowledge is power. Thief sounds a pendant. Swamp is a crystal. We already knew of our 5-6. I'm just really glad that Leaf was able to get the hammer.
Yeah, so they don't have to do that loop again.
Yeah, because going through 2 connectors to get back there is a time-consuming process. As we find Blind Hut so far has a whole bunch of nothing, more nothing, even more nothing, and more nada.
Once we find flippers, we can full clear swamp now for on Fred's side.
Hookshot Cave has been located.
A little bit of love in here, but otherwise nothing special.
There's your pathway to the key.
Which is actually pretty good because they still have to beat, or they're likely going to beat Hera. Now they can get the big chest along the way.
Leave about to find this Ganon's Tower.
French him for Fred. Fred did not check the other entrances around. They did GT, Hookshot Cave, and Hookshot Cave took them out to north side, and they're just following this route still. Not like it's going to be terrible for them to get back to. With the hammer and glove, they can just go through the Dark World portal at in front of Link's house. Now Leaf decides to go through GT and collect all the goodies.
Yeah, probably just trying to see if there was going to be some sort of an upgrade available first, but sadly the game has said no, you ain't getting a bow before you go to the Armos Knights.
Which makes sense as a check to do.
And don't look now, Fred can only blow this like 139 times. However, he normally phrases it on his stream. Right, Sahasrala tells us Hera's are green pendant. Thanks. We do get a cane. All red things. And Fred gives Sahasrala his love. How much are you thinking tile room right now, Iceman?
I am not thinking that at all right now. You've got a lot more other things you could do.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Fred still has all this right side of Dark World to do. You haven't. I don't think anyone's done. Actually, no, I think leave to the drop down, but no one's gone over to Hera entrance. You've got logical Hera upstairs you could do, even though it's a green pendant. I think before I go to GT, I'm hoping for either Fire Rod or something else besides just that one check.
Yeah, as Chad's pointing that out, you want more than just one reason to go back into there for certain. Agate Tower found, although the first item was nothing. There's a small key. Which key do you think that's going to be?
Better rock.
You know, it's hard to predict it correctly when you see the key and the text box pop up first before you put in your guess.
I specifically waited for that.
I know how you operate. All right, top of the castle for Fred. We get chess game. Chess game features more money back.
What I remember is that nothing was actually here.
Capitalism Fairies. Fred buys the upgrades. Fred goes back to the chess game. Fred tells us what he thinks about the chess game. For those who are unfamiliar with Fred, that is how he does things. Anytime he does a C, the NPCs will wind up getting their his signature mark.
I like this play from Leaf, though. They just got the book out of GT. Quick run down to do Bombo's tablet as well.
I agree. Maybe we find something important over here. Please be careful with your health, though, Leaf. Alright, what do we got here at Bombo's tablet? It is Big Key to Ice Palace.
Hera into Desert Main.
And Fred, or rather, Leaf does not know that this is a green pendant, but, I mean, at this point, you don't care.
Again, you just recently got the big key. You're here in the area.
Exactly. It's beatable. And maybe Sahasrala has something important when Leaf gets over to the other side. Ice Rod is on Zora Ledge, according to our observers in chat.
We're trying to think if they have the necessary splash delete. I don't know if they do. Okay, yeah, I guess they do.
How about that? That answers that comment right there. Heart container dropping off from Moldorm. Fred gets the ice rod out of logic.
Well, they needed it, so might as well get it while you're there.
And as pointed out by Jack, kudos to Fred on the game knowledge. And I'm wondering if that was that pause, was Fred was looking up the splash deletion guide. And we have Graveyard Ledge located at Desert Entrance.
If we need TR entrance, it's Bombos.
And unfortunately, nothing at Graveyard Ledge. All right, Leaf heading over to the Dark Shopping Mall. And Fred's checking us the Ether tablet. And we get a heart container, but nothing else inside Waterfall Cave.
I wonder if Meyer is the next logical play.
But that hook shot is accessible, absolutely. Hopefully Leaf goes to, and it looks like Leaf is heading that general direction now, but I was going to just say, hopefully Leaf chooses to go to the right side of the Dark World first before they go into Meyer. Nice work there by Leaf to get onto the platform. Chad asking the question, did Leaf check the left bomb room in the South Dark Shore there? That was where they came out of the Quarreling Brothers. So there was no need to check it. Fred soon will get that big key that's here on Bombo's tablet. Did I just see a pendant for Meyer?
Yes, there is.
I think we have all of our information, yes. What do you think is inside Meyer?
Fire source, bow, maybe a needed big key that they might need.
That definitely tracks. All right, Hospital gives us heart.
Now Leaf has everything to technically clear Mire, except the boss wouldn't be in logic, but that's not going to stop them if they decide to go that far.
Yeah, just can't get everything out of Meyer. Obviously, that lack of a fire source. We would love to see the lamp, would love to see the fire rod show up, so that way we could get to the left side of Meyer if needed.
For the wall, one for the NPC.
As we're now at the hour mark of this cross keys match in Group W between Windblown Leaf and fcoughlin, a reminder to give the runners a follow. This match means a lot to me, more because of the fact that I've known these competitors very, very closely for many, many years, and I was very excited to see this match pop up on the schedule when it did, and I'm excited to be calling this race together with Iceman. Yeah, give these runners a follow. Also give our trackers a follow as well.
Yeah, it's been a fun match so far. Largely doing similar things at slightly different times, but very in step with each other.
So let me ask you this question, because maybe an hour in, I'm not thinking about it just yet, but I know there's a point in time where I start to look at the lack thereof crystals that I have accumulated, and it starts to bug me. Is that a case that happens with you too?
Yes, but at the same time, I also noticed the lack of items to clear the crystals. So then I think to myself, okay, what can I do next that's a density location? And as I said, Mire is probably the play. As much as I dislike Mire, because it takes a long time to get a few checks, there's not really much else left.
Yeah, at this point in time, none of our crystal dungeons are beatable.
I don't think we've even found some of the dungeons. Pretty sure we haven't seen Pod. I don't think we've
Correct.
seen Desert Boss. We've found the other entrances.
And we can't even get to the desert boss even if we had found it.
I think that's what Leaf and Fred were focusing on is let's go to the entrances we can clear to see if they're get our knowledge. Now that the knowledge is done, now where can we go to actually get items? I think that was a poke, but Fred should realize that. Yep.
This Moldorm is causing a bit of trouble.
To answer in chat, no, we don't know waterfall entrance yet because no one's water walked to there, and we don't have flippers to logically go in. Sorry, water walk or fake flipper. No one's done that yet.
Ah, yes, the Mimic Cave that we saw about 30 seconds into this match is going to lead us to, well, nothing. I can tell you something that's about to happen in this seed, Iceman, and this is almost certainty it's going to happen, like 95% certain. Fred's going to get
What's
the
that?
heart container, and then he'll bomb the NPC one more time.
Yeah, that seems pretty certain. I did completely forget about this exit, though. This is probably better than going through Mire.
Yeah, nobody has checked it, although it's one of our force outs. Does not do anything for us here. So correct me if I'm wrong, Iceman. Correct me if I'm wrong. Neither runner checked the left Death Mountain caves. Dark Death Mountain, that is.
No, I don't recall anyone doing that. Leaf might be doing that now.
Yeah. That's what... I still have those things spotted on my map here, so... Probably we'll see this in just a moment, but Leaf will first check the ether tablet.
Ether tablet and hair entrance, because I don't believe they did it yet.
Yeah. Red's the first one into Misery Mire. We're going to have to ask Leaf's PG words for Dead Rocks after this race is concluded. Because I have a feeling they are not going to be very flattering.
Probably not.
All right, inside Mire. Well, there's no running from that shield right now.
Another connected to follow from Leaf.
Another force out. This one gets us a small key. A GT small. And a pod small inside the Mire big chest.
Red can dig it.
I'm not sure I can dig this. Oh. Hi, TR Bridge. Laser Bridge.
Guess no one dropped down there.
Hi there. Another GT small.
Not in logic, but I wonder if Leaf will eventually do that dark connector to get back to the TR Bridge and mirror from there.
And a tightly folded map is on the pedestal. Answering the comment from Zeruvian, Leaf checked Crystal Roller when they went in to do the big chest a little bit ago.
I'm not always up on logic for how many keys you need. How many keys do you need to go from middle TR to the front?
That is a very, very difficult question I don't know the answer to.
Because with Kane, that might be
It could be the answer, yeah.
Four, though.
4 of them, yeah. Which I think it sounds about correct. Fred's going to go down this the way we just saw Leaf go, and we'll find out that this is just nothing but sadness. Although Fred did not check this yet, so that's Old Man Rescue. We're not checking that.
The brief answer to that question for how people can do laser bridge without taking damage. Only the front of the laser actually hurts you. The back of portion is just a visual effect. So if you're quick enough, you can actually dodge around the laser. Most people do it by stutter stepping, but boots across also works.
Yeah, and there are certain runners who are very proficient at avoiding the damage from the laser at this point in time. So even though skills may sound like a sarcastic quip in the eyes of a person who might be asking the question, it really is the answer. These runners are very, very proficient at what they do. And here's an entrance we haven't checked yet. It's nothing, though. Like, the stutter step was something that Zelga had told me in the past, and once I started practicing it, it was like, okay, I've got this almost every single time now. I say almost every single time because sometimes your nerves get in the way, sometimes your controller gets in the way, sometimes insert reason Z gets in the way here. So, Spike Cave, what do we got here? Oh, boy. We got access to the mire area.
Yep. Looks like Leaf is about to do that as well.
Well, Leaf is going to get distracted by Mire first. But setting up the portal in the right spot so that they can get back into the Dark World soon enough. We are going to see what the shovel leads to. First, let's see if we can get something spectacular here. Oh, that's our lamp. That's disgusting game.
Do love lamp.
That's even worse than a lamp and mire in the sense that, now if you wanted to get the two items over here on the left side, you gotta double back and hey, TR front!
Can only get one thing without the fire rod, but it's still something.
Well, 50 rupees is something. It's something. Bombable hut. Nothing. So I'm looking at my notes right now. We haven't seen Chicken Coop, we haven't seen Hype Cave, and we haven't seen Myers Shed. Well, there's Chicken Coop. I don't think we've seen Sea House either.
I don't recall any of those, no.
Leaf is pressing on and going to Vitreous.
Master Sword is not going to be that bad of a initial fight. It's just going to be the second portion. But with Hammer and Master Sword, I believe in their skills.
I believe in Leaf's skills, definitely. But it is definitely a call, and this could be a game changer if there's something here on Vitreous, as Fred would then have to double back.
I think making one attempt is not bad, but if they died, I would just bail at that point. Especially since Fred hasn't found anything with the myth so far. There's still a lot left to check, but they haven't found anything in this mire area.
Hammer pegs, there's nothing. Leaf remembering what the stun prize is.
You killed them, but you didn't pick up the hearts.
Although, yeah. Oh, wait, are we setting this up?
Oh, spooky eye thing?
Maybe. Yeah, there it is!
That's actually really good knowledge then.
And getting the eye down before the cape runs out. Mushroom! Okay. If you love a fetch quest, there you go.
Especially since we've seen Potion Shop in a pretty easy location. This is a very quick turn.
It is. I see we are heading for Sick Kid, perhaps. Also, Hype Cave has been found. Tempered Sword.
It's pretty hype. Tempered Sword is going to be pretty good at this point.
And Fred leaving 2 bombs behind for Hype
Fake
Cave.
powder.
Yes. There's the bat on the fake powder. And just gets a compass for the reward. It's a check that is out of your to-do list now, but still you'd love for it to be something bigger. Here comes the lamp for Leaf.
We'll then put that mushroom into logic. So they might feel pretty good about it.
Fred heading over to Hammer Pegs. It's a small key to the Palace of Darkness. So logically required. Although Fred coming in with 5 keys.
I'm gonna feel a little bit bad, but again, I don't really fault the play when you're already in Mire.
Agreed. Alright, so we do know that Leaf needs to get over to Spike Cave and get to that at some point in time to get the mids. Haha. Left side of Misery Mire is locked behind beating Vitreous.
I wonder if the lamp was enough to push Leaf to sequence break right side here. Tower Room is in logic, but going further is not. But if they're confident with their skill.
Yeah, this is going to be a full out. I'm going to break the right side after this. Ceruvian, I swear I'm going to be right one of these tries. I'm still waiting to be right on my commentary. This is 2 races in a row where the runners do the exact opposite of what I say. You know what the lesson of this is, Iceman?
Never try.
Exactly.
The logical check on right side GT is nothing.
How about the
We'll see.
illogical check?
Well, we'll find that out soon.
Bombos.
Alright, that gives us Ice Palace.
Good decision by Leaf, just waiting that out. Heard the thing going down. And the last thing you want to do is set yourself up to be pulled back to start. Oh, ran out of time. Again, waiting it out. Flippers in the dark maze of Pod.
Logically locked behind Vidi.
Oh no! All right, this really has to be Leaf's last chance for multiple reasons. Yeah, we're ethering. Don't take a chance.
Looks like Fred's going into the swamp, gonna full clear likely.
Yeah, you want to see what what this leads to. You just got the flippers. You want to check your advantage. And absolutely nothing for Leaf's efforts. Wow. You're hoping to find at least something in there. Maybe even a bow. But we now know that Leaf needs to get to Spike Cave urgently to get the Titan's mitts.
Yep, Titan's is basically breaking the seat open with the bombos and the flippers and pod.
Huh, okay, cool. Nice game. Leaf is going to go and get over to Hype Cave, which will be good to get this tempered sword. Have we found anything inside of this swamp?
Not yet.
How about a small key to the Hera basement?
Probably not one they want.
Yeah, I think Leaf is starting to go a little, what is the seed wanting me to do? And hopefully we'll figure it out soon enough. What the seed wants you to do is get over to Spike Cave. Dark Cross, though, is a check that exists now, thanks to the lamp.
I don't think Fred did this because Fred had a few other things once it got
Nope.
bits.
Yes, not. Thanks, Gabe. You're a gem.
That's just another item that might pull Leaf away from Spy Cave.
Back to Castle Tower for check number 2.
Hopefully Leaf runs up here and crosses over the water.
Well, that's a bottle. That's not awful, but it's not anything that's going to help Leaf figure out what to do here.
Thinking.
Thinking, processing, maybe. Still thinking. Oh, by the way, Freddy picked up our first crystal of the seed, and now we're 27.
I think they're going to come pretty quickly now. Fred can do all of Ice Palace. Isn't doing it yet, but can.
Leaf, I think, is making a play for perhaps some sort of frozen rod, maybe? Or just to check
Or
this
waterfall.
entrance? Yeah, they were checking this entrance.
Meyer left now.
And Ice Palace for Fred.
So we got full clear on ice. Likely gonna find an item to do another dungeon from there. Well, there's powder
Magic
that Leaf
powder.
already did.
Cute. Wonderful. Marvelous. App magic for Fred. Take a look at the standings here of Group W while we are waiting for our next checks. PH currently with a 4-0 record. Fred and Windblown Leaf with 2-1 records. Ridley Dragon has completed all of their matches, went 0-6 in this group. So it's safe to say that this is the two matches between these two are going to be important for the determination who is the second person that's going to be getting out of this group. Even though
Correct.
there are still a couple of question marks in regards to PH. Leaf keeps giving me the appearance that they're heading in that direction that they need to, but then turns the other direction.
We've all been here as a racer too. You know,
Oh,
an
for
item,
sure.
but something else just keeps you busy, keeping you away from where you need to be.
Oh, this gets you back here too, so this is fine. This is fine. Thankfully, did remember that this cave exists. And this cave gets a lot of runners.
By the time it's a logic or that you can actually accomplish it, you usually have other stuff better to do.
Yeah, you put it out of your mind. Nice, almost vanilla blue mail for Fred.
So what would help is if Leaf goes immediately to Hammer Pegs, but it's likely they're going to go Meyer for the density.
Yeah, and that makes this move. We know we want Leaf to go to Pod to get the flippers, but we all can sympathize with the hey. This is a bunch more entrances.
We didn't find a whole lot in Ice though. Mostly just Skull Big, I believe.
Just a half a magic that is nice for quality of life, but it does not change what we need for go mode.
I think they also got Skull Big, so that's just something, one extra thing to check, but otherwise nothing.
Right. That answer is pending what happens coming up here shortly. Fred unfortunately does not get a chance to swing. Ooh, that was a very, very close right there for Fred with that final cold stare puff. Because if that sword swing whiffed, Fred would have a face full of cotton candy. And with 3 hearts, that would not have felt good.
This makes sense for Fred. Mountain has a few dark connector, dark
Oh.
entrances you can do.
All right, so both of these runners are showing their love for Dead Rocks today.
I don't know if Fred's going to do the rest of Thieves.
Or not.
He sees the P and then says no.
Gee, I wonder who else does that. But honestly, at this point in time, it could very well be the remaining contents of that Thieves' Town.
I think Fred's still looking for Desert Boss.
Yeah, we have not seen Desert Boss on either side. Leaf is soon going to find the Palace of Darkness. Or we're just going to go grab the Breadsmith first and then wait for the purple chest, which is fine. Breadsmith's just around the corner here. Or we're just going to bring the Breadsmith in for a visit.
I didn't even find Skull before.
No.
This makes a lot of sense now. You were looking for 2 dungeons to beat.
Yeah.
We're gonna sequence break it.
Yeah, at this point in time, you don't care. You're going to Mothula. It's relatively easy to do.
Interesting use of Quake instead of Ether.
And I think I have a funny feeling that was I wanted to use Ether, but I grabbed the wrong medallion, so now I had to roll with the punches. Alright, here is the Palace of Darkness for Leaf.
Nice moth fight from Fred.
Well, we can now see whether or not Eastern is dependent or crystal. Not that we already knew that information.
I'm not sure if Fred did though.
You might be right, yeah. Unless he finally got that information when he saw the thieves pee there, so...
I guess the question more is,
I totally phrased that incorrectly.
Did Fred know Meyer though? When
I
Fred
don't
went in
know.
the first time. Chat is saying yes, so I'll trust them.
Well, they may also be answering Lana Bean and asking what Fred eats for go mode, too.
I'll also trust them that they're answering me.
Maybe they're answering both. Why not? Why not both?
Exactly. Humbug for desert.
Yeah, if our tracker could mark that Leaf has finished off Misery Mire, that'd be awesome.
Excellent mimic clip for Leaf.
There we go. Thank you so much for doing that.
What entrances do we have left? Waterfall and Big Bomb? Oh, and
Waterfall,
Skullback?
Big Bomb.
Oh, no. Leaf Cave
No,
and Skullback.
Fairy Ascension was there, so that's not going to be the answer. Castle Tower small on the man under the bridge, which Fred gives him the how do you do. But we already know that second check is just a blue goo. I don't think anyone has checked the Ice Palace entrance.
No, Fred just did. There's
Okay.
nothing.
Well, we're about to find this entrance, and there is Meyer's shed. Other sword, other bottle.
So that might be Big Bomb for Desert then.
Where's our fire rod?
That would be the question, but it's more if Fred's been keeping track of that and he's realizing that, then that might push him to where he wants to go next, knowing what's left for logic.
Well, we're gonna check the TR big chest. Fred just checked the TR main entrance. Fred just checked the bottom of that pit as well, twice. Bow! In the skull big!
So Skull Big from Ice to get your bow.
How
to
much
get
would you
one
like
of
to
the bows
climb
at least.
GT now?
I'm beating Eastern Pod first.
Well, you can't beat Eastern. We still don't have the big key, but we can definitely
Okay,
beat
well.
Pod.
Beating Pod first.
And chat pointing this out properly, this was a double dip required pod.
Yeah, because I think Pod Big was in one of the two as well. I think Swamp.
True. So we had that. Also, the bombos to get yourself into this dungeon.
Yeah, flippers to get Pod Big, but then Bombos to get into Ice to get your bow. Yeah, I guess we have either Back of Thieves or Climb GT.
I forgot about the back of these.
Red was
I
gonna check
have-
it until he saw his pendant.
Yeah. I have another disgusting thought.
What's that?
Hera basement.
Yeah, but
And
that's
I'm
a
not
one
talking
check
to user.
versus. I'm thinking that's a one check versus 4 and 5.
Right, but it's still a possibility. I can't take it back. The only way I can take this back is to delete this section of the video off the VOD. Now, would I do something as mischievous as that?
Yes.
You're not helping my case, Iceman.
That's precisely why you brought me on as a co-commentator.
To incriminate me?
Shenanigans.
Duly noted. Ceruvian, I don't need your help either. I'm in enough trouble as it is.
All right, nothing in Pod. So yeah, I think it is Your dense locations is now back of thieves or climb for 5.
All right, cold stare coming up for Leaf. Fred now 4 crystals in. This will be the first crystal for Windblown Leaf. But we're just around the corner from getting to crystal number 2. And if Leaf makes the right decision, we can get things start to accelerate real fast here.
Usually what happens in these, if it seems there's extremely slow, it's usually crystals one after the other at the end. GT for Fred.
That looks like that is where Fred is heading.
And this is the correct play from Leaf to get their skull, no, not their skull, their pod big.
Chat pointing out something that I've not been thinking about here. Because of just how the seed has progressed, but that's knowing where both of our castle tower keys are now puts the back of escape into a possibility thanks to a wizard.
I like that even less than Hair Basement.
I hate it too, but it's just things to think of. Where in the world can this Eastern Big be? Where in the world can this Fire Rod be?
I still think GT are thieves. Let's go with density. Fred has the same thought.
I mean, I like the way that this thought is here. This climb is worth 5 items.
Especially since right after mids you got GT big and the bow. Essentially follow the items you just got for your next checks.
We're in that point where you want to be clearing dungeons, but obviously we still need to find where... I mean, I think at this point in time we know where Desert Back's going to be. So we need to find the Fire Rod first so we can get that part of this process taken care of. So fill in the blank. On the 6th floor, we will find blank.
Fire Rod.
Chat, participate. Fire Rod, Eastern Big, GT4, another bottle, money, probably a Fire Rod, something for Fred to bomb, silvers, Hyrule Castle, small. I wouldn't mind finding the Hyrule Castle small more because of the fact that that would open up 5 items for us. Well, and 5 items, really.
And we wouldn't have to climb Agate Tower.
Who wants to climb Agate Tower?
No one.
Chat does. If chat wants to go and deal with the wizard that badly, they can go and climb the tower themselves.
Exactly.
Another shield. The possibilities are ending. All right, here we go. 6th floor contains... There it is. And small key to TRs. And the big key to Easter
There's
Palace.
your
That
go.
is it. We are in go mode. So first, Fred's going to go through the Hyrule Castle connector to get over to the top of the mountain. So that way we can go to Trine X and finish that boss off. Because we still have the piece of this puzzle we have to rectify. And that is the location of the back of the desert. Or Fred is just going to, just because we were going to get moved away from there when we finished off with the TR anyway. We're just going to do Eastern now.
Yeah, this makes sense. Just as you said, he was going to get pulled away. Do this quickly first, and then you can easily get back to where you were. Yeah, Fred's not checking anything. He's just going. Yep, so dip of mire to get your shovel, to get your lamp was required to get your fire rod up GT. Lovely seed. And as Ruvian pointed out, rule of fire.
All right, Eastern boss. I got the Armos Knights, and let's just go ahead and finish this off. And then we'll just do TR. Red mail, beautiful. Thank you.
Where does Leaf go from here? Of the mountain to check TR entrance, looking for desert.
It just seemed like that is the direction that we are. Oh, we're gonna sequence break the beating of Mothula here.
This also works. And yes, I'm pretty sure Fred checked every other entrance as far as I'm aware, and has realized desert is at Pyramid.
Yeah, it's that's the only dot I still have on the map is that desert, or rather at Pyramid Ferry. Everything else has been checked. The skull back was where Fairy Ascension came out.
And Leaf is probably checking TR entrance along with getting this at the same time. So they're essentially doing the same thing, looking for desert.
Yeah, you want to know for certain that if you need to go do the 5-6, and obviously you can't do the 5-6 without the fire rod. Try next down for Fred. And there's your Hyrule Castle Spall. Good, wonderful, great game.
Even when we're not really trying to look for more items, we're still getting knowledge about the rest of the seed.
Marvelous game. All right, so we have to flute up to 1 to get the pyramid bomb. So does this mean the Lamola is going to drop the silver arrows?
It would be funny. I have a feeling Back of Thieves as a wild guess.
I'm going to say on the top of GT.
In the one check Fred didn't do.
Exactly. The Moldorm 2 check. And lo and behold, there is the desert boss. Now, we would switch over to Fred's audio, but Fred has a microphone that is on, so we really can't be going to Fred's audio for the final portion of this seed.
And weirdly enough, this is actually not a bad place for desert, because Ganon's literally around the corner.
Yeah, you just have to mirror once you're done with this.
Nice double hit.
That was not the silvers, but there's crystal number 7 for Fred. So, just the Mets were in a rough spot, and I think there's just a couple of unfortunate compounding deaths for Leaf that took them out of their game.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, if I remember correctly, this is the first meeting between these two.
I think so, yeah.
So there's a chance to still even up this series, in which, in that case, that will pretty much feel like a potential elimination match. But we'll see. Still a little more to settle in this group. Nothing there.
Hyrule Castle was the silvers.
Yeah, I have a feeling we'll find these soon enough. Yeah, there's the bow right there. Yes, thank you, game. A gem. Just an absolute gem. There it is. Final hit on Ganon. Fred will win this match. And I don't know if you'll have enough time to sub to this. Yeah, just barely missing the sub 2. GG's.
Yeah, Leaf ended up save scumming the small key. Gonna see what's on the back 3. For curiosity, they've already seen the result. Yeah, Leaf reset out of the bow. They want to see what's in the back 3, if there's anything more valuable, knowing that there's 2 in the pool. If they were still going to keep playing after seeing the result, they would have reset back and gotten the bow.
And there's the finish right there. Let's see if we can't get these 2 in here to talk about this seed, shall we?
Welcome, Leaf. GG's.
Thank you.
Leaf, hi. What is the proper recipe for devouring dead rocks that get in your way?
Yeah, I was not happy to find boots behind the dead rocks I died to twice. I'll admit.
I kind of figured that to be the case.
Moon Pearl, who cares about that? Boots? Gimme.
Yeah.
You know me.
Mm-hmm. So that's the reason I was asking about recipes for dead rocks.
There isn't one. They eat you.
I know Fred also had he got stuck behind dead rocks, but nice place for those mitts.
Now I know how Ruby feels.
Spike Cave has nothing until it has something. And when it has something, it's usually something that makes you cry.
So, where's this God's Forsaken Fire Rod?
6th floor GT.
Okay. Did we find the other bow, or did I just reset the first bow?
Skullwood's big chest.
Okay. In case
Eastern
you're wondering,
big.
I was convinced that it was going to be progress behind that castle tower key I found, so I decided to go. If it's going to give me that bow, it's going to give me the key for it.
Yeah, the Hyrule Castle Small was on Trinex. Fire Rod was 6th floor GT. Eastern Big was also 6th floor GT.
I was thinking about Mimic clipping up GT soon, so. Yeah, I knew I was sunk with those mates because that was a hard last location other than out of Logic Hyrule Castle.
Yeah, I kind of figured that. And I was a little worried that you may have forgotten about Spike Cave.
Oh, I did.
Okay. Just the way you were maneuvering a little bit there, I got worried about that, but thankfully you were able to get that.
I remembered
again,
Spike Cave approximately as I was lighting the torches in cutscene room.
Ah, yes. Although
Which I was
you
doing
did...
the out of logic cutscene room because I was like, I don't know what else to do yet. I'm going to do cutscenes.
In which we find out the Meyer Small was some place that required you to... Oh yeah, the defeating a Vidi to get the Meyer 3. Or something like that. No. Pod 6. Anyway,
I was excited for this race, and then it gave me Spike Cave.
Yeah. Spike Cave when you've already unfortunately had the dead rocks decide to get in your way. And I felt bad when that second death happened because then you started to stay away from the mountain for a little bit.
Can't be mad. Fred's a really strong player, so I'm excited to see what he picks for game 2.
Any idea when you're going to be doing the race, or is that still
Good
TBD?
question. Good question. All I know is I have a race tomorrow night with PH, so...
I mean, that is going to be an important match at this stage. Both that and your remaining match against Fred to stay alive in this tournament.
It wouldn't be a tournament with me in it if I wasn't desperately trying to stay afloat.
I mean, it could just very well come down to you and Fred playing in an elimination match coming up, or just to maybe play another match against each other because you all tie.
I believe the only thing I know about my next race with Fred is it's not cross keys, it's not Animizer, and it's not casual boots. So Fred has to pick from either Kabuki or Open 80 tile swap.
And I'm not going to ask which one are you hoping for, but
I am hoping for racing him in a game of Final Fantasy Mystic Quest.
we'll have to see if Fred accepts that challenge.
Since I don't want to give him any indicators on which one I prefer, so he picks against it, I'll just
Exactly.
say let's play Mystic Quest instead.
That's the reason why I didn't want to ask the question.
I'm smarter than that.
It's easy. You just want to play all dungeons.
I would like. The answer is I would like to play Zelda with Fred for a second game because Fred is a very good person. Random developer, very strong player, and from everything I've seen, a very good dad.
Yes, indeed, and I'm sure he's taking care of his stuff right now. We do want to wish Fred a GG's on this race, and Leaf, any closing thoughts about this seed, or about Fred in general, or about your teammate and Fred's teammate here in the commentary booth together?
I would say start with a thank you to SpeedGaming for putting on the restream, of course. Thank you to our trackers, because trackers do a lot of hard work. Thank you, Loyal Imperial and Pulsetti. And of course, thank you to the commentary provided from the ALTTPR main tournament administration retirement home.
Yes, we didn't even get to bring up that fact, Iceman, that we are sitting here in our old retirement home here, in our rocking chairs.
Rocking chair commentary. That sounds amazing. Can we get that at SGL next year?
Perhaps. We'll have to check our budget for that. Iceman, the only thing that's missing was the fact that this race is gone as late as it is. We might have to miss out on tomorrow's early bird dinner because we're going to need a nap.
I'm sure I'll survive. What a nap sounds really good.
I'm glad that well, I mean, it's 10 o'clock at night for you two, isn't it?
Correct.
Yep.
And I mean, I'm keeping the old folks up late. That's disrespectful to my elders.
That's fine. We'll remember this come the holiday season.
But it was worth it.
Thank you, you two. For all the jokes I have aside, thank you.
If you don't mind me, I'm going to have to go look up places to get coal now. But yeah, definitely GG's on this race there, Leaf, and thank you for coming by to talk about it, and good luck in your remaining matches in this tournament.
Thank you very much. Have a great night, everybody. See you next mission.
That is Windblown Leaf. Thank you very much for joining us again. fcoughlin probably not joining us, so let's go ahead and wrap up this broadcast. Hosetti and Loyal Imperial on tracking. Iceman, I guess we got to go back to our retirement side, but this has been fun.
It was a lot of fun. Good race to watch.
Let's do. Let's see you next mission, okay?
Of course. Later,
All
everyone.
right, we're out of here. Thank you for watching. Stop by the other channels for more ALTTPR content here on Speed Gaming.